Short document on gas pressure from a flat earther's perspective. 2024 version 0.1, edit point 1. Modus ponens logical syllogism. If the air we breathe is gas at pressure, P, then the air we breathe must be contained, Q. P, the air we breathe is gas at pressure, therefore, the air we breathe must be contained, Q. Gases expand rapidly in all directions. They originate from Earth's surface level, or come up from underground, dispersing into the available volume in all directions in 360 degrees vertically, diagonally and horizontally in our 3D world. Flora intake and expel gases, same with fauna, same with humans, and all those reside on Earth, and mostly confined to its surface. And the gases originating from underground either get stuck there for us to dig to, or released through cracks or fissures etc. If the first gas molecule came out the ground, maybe rose up through water and broke its surface, it would then just carry on moving in the same direction, up, and keep going until it collided with something to change its direction. If the gas molecule had no container to collide with, then it would just leave Earth and never come back, and by not remaining, never contribute to the generating of gas pressure we call air, which we breathe. If the gas molecule left by rising up, then the next one too, and the next and the following, then gas pressure, or air, would never have been achieved and thus we humans, or flora, or fauna, would never have been able to exist. However, gas pressure does exist, and we do breathe it as air at roughly 14.7 psi, pounds per square inch, from sea level. How would you or I transport some gas? Would you maybe require a container to do so? Would it have to be a closed container, airtight? How about transporting a lack of gas or severely low pressure, a simple vacuum? Would you require a container to do so? Gas pressures defined as the collisions of the gas molecules with the walls of the container. They have elastic collisions and expand rapidly to fill the available volume. Considering a container and a given volumes required to have gas pressure, for the molecules to bounce around in, how is it that mere mortals are claiming to have gone to and through a vacuum of outer space, or even sent machines to traverse a so-called vacuum of outer space professed to be just above our head? This would mean a violation of the second law of thermodynamics, in which entropy's not occurring, having the gas not fill the available volume of the vacuum of outer space. Outer space is an interesting way to say, region that's not inside the container. Yet no container is mentioned when sending man and machine through its paradoxical non-existence. In other words, the vacuum of outer space is faked, and isn't traversed, nor could it exist as told. If you loved space movies then I feel for you, I was once in your shoes too. However, I have great news. Notice the difference between space and outer space. Space is very real, it's the distance between my location and your location, it's usually described in 3D as we live in a 3D world, and gas fills all that space. But to get to an imagined outer space, you'd certainly have to encounter a container first. I like to imagine astronauts stopping at a great wall like in the Truman Show, entering the secret door into a decompression chamber, to not kill all the rest of us on Earth as they leave. Then exiting out of another door, a little tongue-in-cheek there. First you require a container, then you can achieve gas, then as it's contained, you'll achieve gas pressure. But people like to point to lower gas pressure readings at higher elevations, compared to the 14.7 psi at surface level. They'll assert this with just gas pressure gradients. Well, to have gas pressure gradients, you first need gas pressure, and to have gas pressure, you'll need containment. However, that overlooks the idiotic notion that lower pressure gas would be containing higher pressure gas from escaping Earth to fill the presupposed available volume so-called vacuum of outer space. How's less pressure containing higher pressure? Self-defeating, isn't it? Other people like to incorrectly and fallaciously beg the question of the force of gravity contains the gas, when gravity's not been described as a force for 109 years, and rather been described as a conceptual pseudo-force space effect, and not a cause of something, therefore not containing anything, and still overlooking the fact that gas expands in all directions and is not being generated in the sky, for us to be blessed with falling gas to breathe. I've even had to explain to someone that plasma is not gas, whilst they were so sure that they'd found gas pressure without a container, they presented contained gas and an electromagnetic field to contain plasma, which is not gas. Which doesn't really trump someone else presenting 3 containers for a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Amazing. I find this heliocentric monkey business the masses all believe in without question, insulting to human intelligence. How's one breathing air in an ever-expanding fairy tale? The sun's presupposed to be a concentrated ball of gas, in an ever-expanding vacuum. You might need to read that one again. Concentrated ball of gas in a vacuum. Yet vacuum of outer space men need suits to go violating entropic law. How considerate. As a final point I'd like to make, gas pressure of 14.7 psi at sea level and decreasing as we rise up vertically. This is a pressure reading, with respect to a horizontal plane of reference for multiple positions and thus different readings in the vertical. Another subtle flat Earth nod. But also, some reasons for higher pressure at lower levels would be due to more things for the gas molecules to be colliding with, when compared to the emptiness of the sky, or up a snow-topped mountain like Everest, and considering the regenerating or recycling of gases by flora and fauna, and other such events like evaporation, all of which is occurring at surface level, which are things that aren't occurring in the sky directly above your head or in the clouds. I'll close with this again. Modus ponens logical syllogism. If the air we breathe is gas at pressure, P, then the air we breathe must be contained, Q. P, the air we breathe is gas at pressure, therefore, the air we breathe must be contained, Q.